most companies think about silos as departments, but really in the book, the silo was individuals like Brent. And I see so much dysfunction on siloed people. Can you talk more about the siloed people in the book?
Yes, Brent, my favorite character in the book. So, one of my favorite lines in The Goal was when Dr. Goldrat said, in any flow of work, there's only one bottleneck. And any improvement not made at the bottleneck is an illusion. And his logical proof of this was that if you improve something after the bottleneck, right, it will always be starved for work, waiting for work from the bottleneck. And if you improve something before the bottleneck, it will just end up piled up, with more work in front of the bottleneck. So I thought that was, when I read that 15 years ago, it blew my mind. And in The Goal, the bottleneck was this robot, that was meant to automate the assembly of materials. These days, the bottleneck is not a robot. It's usually an individual. Right? It's a knowledge worker who is required, in order to fix the biggest outages, you need one person. Right? In order to do any major piece of work, you need the same person. And so what happens is that this person, often named Brent, is busy when something urgent needs to get done, and the entire organization is held hostage because what needs to get done can't get done because Brent is on an airplane, right? And doesn't land for another 4 hours, and so we have to, basically capitulate and say we'll be down for another 4 hours until Brent lands. So there are a variety of techniques that we've learned in terms of how to help Brent not become the bottleneck, and usually it's not because. Almost in all cases, Brent is a great person, right? It's not Brent's failure. It's really a management failure where we haven't created the standardization of work so that everything that Brent does, Brent's job is to write it down so other people can do it. Brent's job is to take what's in his head and turn that individual knowledge into tribal knowledge. And we can use techniques like Kanban boards where we visualize work. We make sure that any work that goes to Brent is recorded, that we know what Brent is working on, we know what's waiting on Brent, and we can focus on making sure that work flows quickly through Brent. One of the other, silo dysfunctions that I really loved in the Phoenix Project was this notion of Bill having to come to grips that he didn't know how much work he had. And so just putting all the projects, all the changes in flight on Post-it notes and putting them on the wall and finding out that they quickly ran out of wall space, they were piling them up on the floor, and soon you had these mountains of cards that reached to the ceiling. And that's when they had their aha moment that, holy cow, we have too much work in process. Just like in the manufacturing plant floor, you had piles of inventory piled up to the ceiling. Right. So I think it takes that visualization of work to have this aha moment that says, no, we can't actually take on more work. And if we do, what work is at the expense of, right? Put one card in, you have to take one card out. And I think that's a very powerful technique.